right, welcome in everybody. The Falls Count Anywhere podcast back with you here on the August 20th edition of the show. Guys, we are here. We got Chris DiCarlo, of course, joining me. I'm Charlie Turner, by the way, along with John Restaino as well. Gentlemen, how are we doing today?
Great. How we doing?
Excellent.
Doing
Excellent.
good, man. Doing good. Rolling along as the summer winds down here in Western New York. We should be looking at snow again pretty soon and all that fun shit. But fall first, right? But let's get some fall weather and then we'll worry about the winters because they're so fun here.
You actually got a preseason football game on today, right?
That's right. Go Bills as they host the Broncos today here in Buffalo at Kids Day at the stadium. So if you're out there at the stadium, enjoy the screaming kids and preseason football and drink plenty of beer to get through it, right? Because that's going to be a long afternoon. But gentlemen,
150 degrees, man.
Yikes.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Yeah, give me the fall, give me the hoodie weather, man, all day. You know, we got thick blood in these parts, you know. But gentlemen, we do have a guest with us today on our podcast, and we are so happy to have her come in. She is the daughter of the legendary Sergeant Slaughter, and we've been saying it for 2 weeks. Slaughter's daughter. Well, she's here. She's Miss Kelly Slaughter. Kelly, thank you so much for joining us on the Falls Count Anywhere podcast. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. Thanks for having me on. How are you guys?
Doing great. Absolutely. Right. Thanks so much for joining us. Kelly, we want to definitely talk to you about, what you got going on in your life. We know you're very active. You're very athletic. You kick some ass in these Spartan races. We want to hear some more about that. We want to talk a little bit also about your dad growing up in the Slaughter household. But Kelly, I guess first and foremost, as far as 2022, what's going on with you as far as like the Spartan races that you take part in? I know the three of us wouldn't be able to hang for like more than like a minute and a half in one of those things. So if you could kind of tell us what that's all about and what's involved and what the Spartan race exactly is.
All right, I sure will. You'd be surprised at what you can do. I think you'd probably surprise yourself. The Spartan races, or I've only done Spartan. I haven't done any of the other obstacle course races that are out there. But Spartan to me is creme de la creme. It's the cream of the crop. It's the top and the hardest ones, I feel like. It's the best feeling in the world when you cross over that finish line. They have different levels, so different lengths. There's a 5K, a 10K, a 21K, a 60K. Wow. And then even more. They do them over days even.
Wow. Yeah.
I will not be participating in any of those.
Oh, yeah.
That's a little above my fitness level, but I started with a 5K and I did it because people at the gym kept asking me if I was going to do it. And so finally I relented and said, fine, I'll do it. I didn't think I could do it. And they said, we're doing it for fun. We're not competing. It's just to have fun. So that's what I did. And that's the way I view Spartan races. I do the open heat. I'm not competing against anyone except myself. So when I do them and there's an obstacle that I fail or I'm not able to complete, or I look at it and go, I'm not doing that. There's only one that I don't even try because I know I can't do it. So I'm going to conserve my energy. But it really is, sorry, I lost my train of thought there. It really is the most amazing thing. So I started with a 10K. Cool. And there were 20 obstacles to do. You go through muddy water. They call it rolling hills, where you're going into muddy water and then climbing out and then going back in and then climbing back out. And, wow. So you're muddy. Obviously, you climb under barbed wire. There's some of them have water features, water obstacles where you're walking through water up to your knees, sometimes up to your waist. Sometimes you have to swim.
Oh, geez.
I did see a video of one obstacle. I haven't come across it yet, but there was one venue where you swam to a rope you had to climb a rope to get yourself out of the water. And then I think there was monkey bars that you then had to go across.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've done that since like the playground back when I was actually in shape. When I was like 8. How long have you been doing that for? And then what made you want to get into that?
So I started in April of this year. So this
Oh,
is
wow.
like super
So it's
brand
still
new.
new. Yeah.
Yeah, it's super brand new for me. I've done two. I've done 2 races, and then I've done 1 DECA, which is another event that Spartan puts on. Which that's a whole nother thing. There's 3 tiers to that as well. There's one that does not include any running, and that is the one I did. You know, the reason why I got into it was because they kept asking me at the gym if I was going to run it with them, and I kept saying no, but they kept asking
The
me.
peer pressure between, right? Yeah.
And I'm so glad that they did, because I never would have done it, because I did not think that I was capable, just like you guys don't think you're capable.
Oh, no.
I did not think I was capable. And when I crossed that finish line, did I complete every obstacle? No. There is a penalty for most of the obstacles if you fail them. When you do an open heat, which is the heat that I do, you don't have to do the penalties because you're not competing. You're not going to be on. If you win the open heat, no one cares. Because they know you didn't do you didn't do any of the penalties, and you could skip obstacles if you want, not even try them and all that. So it really is just for fun. But when you cross that finish line, you have to jump over fire.
Oh, cool. Very cool. Yeah. Now here's what I'm picturing, Kelly. Now, I'm probably way off, but what I'm picturing is that as you're training, I see your dad with the military hat and the whistle in full Sergeant Slaughter gear, telling you to pick up the pace, you puke. Does that happen?
In my mind.
And in his mind too.
Yeah.
And it's usually my voice going, "Come on, Kelly, you can do this." Sometimes my training partner, Cambry, sometimes she's the one going, "Kelly, you can do it. Come on, I know you can do this." So yeah, but he actually did a little reverse psychology on me.
Uh-oh.
He told me he didn't think I was going to be able to do the super, which was the second race that I did, which was a 10K with, it's only supposed to have 25 obstacles, but there were 29. And one they didn't count, so there were really 30. You know, partway through, at some point, I was like, I can't do this. There was an obstacle that I was able to do very easily in the sprint that I did, and I struggled with it, and I fell a couple times, but I got back up and tried it until I finally did it. And after that, I was in my head, and I was like, I can't do this. What am I doing? I can't even do the inverted wall like I did that last time, you know, and really in my head. And then I heard my dad going, "You can't do this." And I was like, "Screw you, Dad." Yes, I can.
In your mind, right? You wouldn't say that to him right in his face, right?
I might.
Well,
pretty much, yeah, right.
We'll put it this way.
I was.
Put it this way, none of us would ever say that to his face.
No.
I definitely wouldn't recommend one of you doing it, but
No.
I could.
You could, yes.
And only sometimes, depending on the tone that I was using.
Right. So, Kelly, I gotta ask
Was
you-
that
Yeah, go
Kelly?
ahead.
Was that the one that you got the medal for?
So for the Spartan, anytime you finish, you get a medal. So, and I actually have them right here. I was hoping
nice.
you would ask because
Yeah.
they're really cool medals. That was the first medal I
Oh,
got.
wow.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. Wow.
And that was part of the honor series, which is why it looks like that with the spears.
Yeah.
But so my first race that I did that I didn't think I was going to be able to do, never thought I'd be able to finish it. Got through that, jumped the fire, and then I got that medal, and I was like, I want more of these.
Oh,
Absolutely. And especially only 4
Yeah.
months in. That's fantastic. I mean,
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I mean it also comes with this is how they get you guys. It comes with this little piece You're like, what is this piece? I got two bowls. What is this? So this is part of what they call the trifecta.
Oh,
So when you do one of each tier, so you do a 5K, a 10K, and then you can either do the 21K or the 60K. In one calendar year, it's called the trifecta. And every time you get a medal at one of those, you get a piece of the trifecta. So I got the trifecta.
That's awesome. Yeah, very cool.
So I'm working on the trifecta right now. So I did the sprint in April. I did the super in July, and now I'm training for the beast, which is the 21K, and I'll be doing that in November, the week before Thanksgiving.
Wow, that's impressive stuff. I mean, that stuff's not easy. I've known people that have done similar things, like the mud run they have here that they call it, where they're doing some similar things, climbing over a wall and going underneath barbed wire and electric fences and all that stuff. So I give you a ton of props for doing that, because
yes,
I mean, not only just the physical training, but I'm sure the mental training has to be on point as well.
It is 100% physical and mental. Like I said, I got in my head after I couldn't do that one obstacle that I was able to do pretty easily in the first one. And, I'm in my head and I'm just a lot of negative self-talk and telling myself I couldn't do it. And then I told myself, who do you think you are? You are Kelly Slaughter. You are Sergeant Slaughter's daughter, and you trained for this. You can do this.
that's right.
Absolutely.
now I gotta ask you something. 30K, what is that in miles?
So I don't know what a 30K is in miles. Did I say 30K? I meant 60K.
Okay, 60. No, I probably heard. Yeah,
A kilometer, I believe, is 0.6
3
miles.
Wow.
So a
That's up
5K
there.
is
Wow.
a little over 3 miles.
Oh my God. Wow.
Yeah. So yeah.
Well,
How do you get that?
3.2 miles is a 5K, and 6.4 or something. It might be 3.1, and then 6.2 is a 10K. A
Wow.
21K is a half marathon.
Right.
Okay,
Oh,
gotcha.
So
Yeah.
that's
Okay.
what I'm for now is the half marathon. And then there's 30 obstacles.
Wow.
Well,
I pulled a hamstring getting out of bed the other day, and you're in.
I know. I'm applauding. Right.
Well, I started following you on Facebook and Twitter, and I was telling these guys about you, and I said, just her workout schedule alone, right? 100 and some burpees, guys. Remember those? Oh my God!
I hate burpees.
What's it
I
called?
have to do
Burpees?
so
What is
many
it?
of them.
Wow.
So in the Spartan, there's two different kinds of penalties if you aren't able to complete an obstacle. You either have a penalty loop, and Spartan has already chosen them for you. It's not like you've got a choice. You can either do the penalty loop or 30 burpees. They've already chosen for you. And so, yeah, you have to do 30 burpees if you don't finish an obstacle. Now in the open heat, if you have a team, your team can absorb some of those. So if I only do 15, then my partner can do 15. Or if I do 20, she does 10. Things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, teamwork. And then that way they're not standing there waiting for you to do these 30 burpees so they can move on.
Right.
But you also, in the open heat, you don't have to do the penalties. I don't know if I mentioned that. People will look at you and be like, "Why? I saw you didn't do this, and now you're not doing the penalty." You don't have to, but most people do them.
Kind of the peer pressure kicks in, right? To kind of.
Exactly, but no one's standing there counting how many burpees you're doing. So you can decide with your team ahead of time. All right, guys, let's only do 10 burpees if we don't make it. If that's what you want to do, because again, you're not competing with anyone except for yourself. So it's more of a lackadaisical. And it's as serious as you make it, again, because you're competing with yourself. So how serious do you want it to be? So when I do them and I fail an obstacle, that's what I'm training harder on. And that's the one that my next race, I'm doing that obstacle and I'm going to beat that obstacle.
So you guys, this is the motivation we need. I don't have this type of motivation. So Kelly coming on here is kind of an inspiration. She's ready to kick some more ass. I'm ready to go take a nap. I mean, That's pretty awesome stuff.
Yes,
When I'm
definitely.
done with you guys, I'm actually going to go train, and it's our Saturdays are our big training day. It's our endurance day. So I'm going 12 miles, and pretty much in between every mile, we have to stop and do something. So I think like there's burpees we have to do, there's lunges we have to do, there's monkey bars, side monkey bars.
Wow.
Yeah. I'll post it on my Facebook page so you guys can see afterwards, because I usually do my little sweaty selfie and a picture of what the workout was.
Oh, awesome.
This one's killer. I'm really like, oh, do we have to do this?
No pain, no gain, right?
We know you can do it.
I can do it. I was messaging with Cambry, my training partner. I was like, so these are the things that we definitely need tomorrow, which is like our hydration pack, our energy gel.
Yes, stay hydrated. Yeah, especially this time of year in August. Absolutely. That's the only advice I could give you. Otherwise, I'm out of my realm here. But Kelly, I definitely, some of the things I'm curious about as far as, growing up in a wrestling household like you did, with your dad being the legendary, iconic Sergeant Slaughter. We're talking G.I. Joe. We're talking, of course, WWF wrestling and the action figures and everything that comes with it. I got to ask, coming up through school, did the other kids in school know that your dad was Sergeant Slaughter? What kind of perks did that give you in school, knowing that, my dad could come in, my dad can kick your dad's ass, basically?
In elementary and middle school, 100% they knew. I made sure everybody knew. And I regretted it because I was not always treated well. And, when he was the Iraqi sympathizer.
Yeah.
Oh.
I got that bad in school.
During the Gulf War. Absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah. So, not only did we have bomb threats on the family, death threats, my dad had death threats, Vince had death threats, his whole family. People were going to bomb the WWE offices.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it was a really scary time for a lot of people involved. And especially for us, because let's see, in 92, I was 13. So, I was in 6th grade, and, that's like already really awkward, hard years to have to go through. Yeah. And then on top of that, what was happening, with my dad's work, and it did not make it any easier. That's for sure. Now, I do like to say, I don't feel like I was bullied for it. I think that's a really big buzzword right now, because I gave it right back. You know what I mean? So I feel like I didn't let them bully me over it. I gave it right back. It still made that a very difficult time in my life.
Sure.
But I feel like what I went through in comparison to what other kids go through when they're bullied, it was nothing, because I gave it right back.
Right. Yeah, and that's and your dad is like on a public, in the public eye, so there's no way of avoiding that. So yeah, that's where your toughness kicked in at a young age, and now you're doing Spartan races and kicking ass doing that.
Yes.
I want to ask too, like, as your dad, because he was so popular in the wrestling business, so he was having big matches with Hulk Hogan, teaming up with the Iron Sheik, who was Colonel Mustafa. We talk about the Sheik a lot in the show with his tweets and his demeanor is pretty hilarious to us. But did you get a chance to go to some of the wrestling shows with your dad, or also did any of those wrestlers ever come to your house and were just like these larger than life characters that you got to look up to?
Well, for the most part, the wrestlers, the way they are on TV, when they're in character, is not how they are when they're around us. So a lot of times I didn't even know that we were around wrestlers.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And you have to remember this, I was pretty young too. And I wasn't even smart to the business then. So, but yeah, I mean, Roddy Piper came around a whole lot. He and my dad were really close. Don Kernodle and my dad were very, very close. They were best friends for a very long time, up until he passed away last year. I'm trying to think, the 1, 2, 3 kid.
Okay. Sean Waltman. Yep.
Yep. So he actually came and stayed at our house. And I was a little older then, and I knew that he was. I knew that my dad had discovered him, and he was here to meet Vince and all of that. But so I knew he was a wrestler, but he wasn't even big yet. You know, he was there to start his big career in the WWE, hoping. So, but I did meet a lot of wrestlers backstage also. When we would go backstage with my dad sometimes. And Iron Sheik and my dad were also very good friends. They kind of came up and trained together too. And they lived in like the same apartment complexes or in the same towns on the independent circuit back in the day.
Yeah.
And my dad likes to tell a story. He's told it on my podcast too, about the Iron Sheik would read to my sister, and he would, obviously pronounce the words in an accent. And so my dad was worried that my sister was gonna say birds instead of birds, like birds. Because that's how Sheik would say it.
Right. I don't know if you follow the Sheik on Twitter. We feature him on this show. We'll like pluck up maybe about 3 or 4 tweets from his week and just kind of just throw him on the show. And we have a good laugh at the Sheik. We just think he's awesome, and I can't imagine what that dynamic was like with your dad. Those two guys together.
Yeah. So I was so little, but I remember him and my dad wrestling one time, and Sheik brought out a weapon. And so my sister and I are sitting there like, oh, he's got a weapon. And he would put it from his belt to his boot, and then from his boot to his belt, as the ref would check his boots and then would check his belt and all of that. So now my sister and I are like panicking. And then they start to wrestle, and my sister, as the first time my dad got hit and took a bump, my sister and I just lost it. And,
oh man, yeah.
My mom came flying over the table because it was, I believe it was in the Poconos, so they were seating up front, but then we were in like tables around the back.
Okay.
And so she came flying over the table and like basically like put her body over us until the match was over. And then I don't think it finished. I think we went backstage. My mom got us out of there. And then when it did finish, I ran out and I tugged on as he was walking, to backstage. I had run out and I tugged on his arm, and he looked and he saw me and he was like, oh, Kelly, He did win that match. Sheik was still in the ring laying there.
Right.
But
after a full clutch, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yes.
The
but
boot camp match in a pool of blood.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a bloody match. And when my dad walked me and him through the curtain, he says my mom was standing there and she had my sister. I keep saying daughter because it's like this is how my dad tells the story. Right. So she's got my sister, and my mom's looking at him going, I can't believe you did that. Like, what is wrong with you? And my dad was just like, I didn't know he was gonna do that. I had no idea.
Wow.
Real
so it
quick.
was like a traumatizing experience.
Right.
Right, because you don't know, right? I mean, when you're at a young age, like it's just like, what the heck's going on here? Yeah.
Yeah.
Chris, go ahead.
Guy in there with a weapon of some kind. I thought it was a knife, and the ref isn't doing his job and getting the knife away. But
Real quick, Kelly, I just wanted to ask you, since we're talking about old school, did you ever meet or see like Andre the Giant, Big John Studd, like that?
I do believe that I met Big John Studd. I'm pretty sure because I thought he was. What's the name of that actor with the name Bear? No.
Grizzly Adams.
Grizzly Adams. Yes, I think I was like, it's Grizzly Adams.
Yeah.
No. But so I did meet him. Unfortunately, I never got to meet Andre, and I would have loved to have met him. He's probably the one that I wanted to meet the most, because not because of wrestling, but because of Princess Bride.
Yeah, right. Absolutely. Classic. Yeah.
Yeah. It's actually my favorite movie. So Yeah, it would have been nice too. So your accents are bringing out my Midwestern accent, by the way. I don't know if you noticed that.
I didn't realize I had an accent. Some people told me.
Oh, we have.
When I lived in Florida briefly back in like the 90s, somebody told me I had an accent. I was like, I do? Really?
Yeah.
Well, I know usually if I'm on a trip and I say, they're like, where are you from? I say Niagara Falls. They think I'm from Canada. No, New York.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't. So the upstate New York accent is so similar to Midwestern to me. So I always confuse. I'm like, where are you from? You're either upstate New York or the Midwest, like Minnesota, because we're from Minnesota. So
now you're coming
out a little here.
If I have it right, because we call soda pop here. We call it pop. Do you call it pop in the Midwest as well? I believe.
In the Midwest, it's called pop. So in Minnesota, it's pop. Michigan, my husband's from Michigan, so he calls it pop. But I've acclimated to the South, and I call it soda.
Yeah, soda. I gotcha. Yeah. Soda sounds more professional for a fizzed beverage, right? Than pop, I guess.
Well, we'll be walking in the store, and my husband will say, "We need to get some pop," and I'm like, "You mean soda?" Because it sounds like he's saying hot.
Yeah.
And I'm like, soda, not marijuana.
Right. Yeah, these days you gotta be careful with that, right? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, shh.
Yeah. Guys, too, since we updated our own YouTube channel with all our shows, we want Kelly to mention, the Slaughter Daughter and the Slaughterhouse that we follow on YouTube as well, right, Kelly?
Yes. So my channel is Slaughter Daughter Official on YouTube. It's got my logo with me flexing. And then we have, I did do one Spartan episode on there where my training partner talked about the Spartan. So if you're interested in Spartan, definitely check that video out. Again, we don't compete. So we take our time and get through. We just want to finish. We don't want to be on the podium because we know we'll never get there. So anyway, I've seen the women that I would be competing against. There's no way. They'd run circles around me before I even got one leg up.
Yeah, well, you got to be doing it their whole life, right? Yeah.
Right. So anyway, so check that episode out. Other episodes on my channel are just me and my dad talking and telling stories. Cool. And the reason why I started the channel was because we've been after my dad to write a book, and he has not done that. And he's not getting any younger, and his stories really need to get out there. So whenever I can, they need to be out there. He has amazing stories and fascinating stories and scary stories and holy cannoli stories, so they need to get out there. But I figured this podcast would be the best way to do that. And then I think too, it gives a nice little background to what it was like at home for us. So you see like a totally different side. And then Zazel Phoenix, he has Sergeant Slaughter's Slaughterhouse on YouTube, and it's all things Sergeant Slaughter. He is just a huge fan that basically started the channel for himself to have all things Sarge in one place. Wow. And then it just kind of evolved for him, and he's been doing episodes and talking with different collectors, and he's had my dad on. So he's actually, Zazel's been very instrumental in my channel. He helps me out a lot with my channel. And if it weren't for him, he asked me to be on his podcast. And I was like, what? Why do you want to talk to me? If I come, I'm not bringing my dad,
Right.
Like, no, I want to talk to you. And I was like, oh, well, okay. So he was really instrumental in that for sure.
You mentioned the Slaughterhouse podcast. That would make for a cool t-shirt. I don't know if there's any merchandise available for that podcast, but the Slaughterhouse on a t-shirt with like I believe if I did see it correctly, kind of like the G.I. Joe colors to it, right?
Yep.
Man, that'd be a kick-ass t-shirt.
Yeah, he does. I actually almost wore it today. It
Okay.
was between that and this one, and I chose this one. But I do have one of Zazel's shirts. He doesn't advertise it, so I'll get after him to at least put it on in the description of his videos, so people can go there if they want one. I have a Teespring also with merch. I don't have any of my own merch because I think it's weird to wear your own.
That's right.
No offense to anyone that wears their own.
Yeah.
My face is on it. That's why I would feel weird wearing, you know what I mean, my face on my shirt. Weird enough, I got my dad's face on there.
Let's see the T-shirt there, Kelly. Get a better look at the T-shirt there.
Yeah, I believe that one's from 1984.
Yeah, the Cobra Clutch.
Nice.
Awesome.
Cobra Clutch. Oh, cool.
The classic WWF one back in 84, 85, I believe.
This was his first one.
Yeah.
Nice. Look at
That
that.
is very cool. I love
that is awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah, well, real quick too, Kelly, before we go here, I wrote to you and I told you I've been a fan since 1980. So yeah, I know. In fact, we're going to have a clip here. Later on, we do the Chic tweets and our clips from my classic collection. I have a clip of your father with hair back in Japan.
Oh,
wow.
Okay.
That's very rare. Yes. And so like I have followed his career since 1980, WWF, Mid-Atlantic, all throughout. So we, right, guys, we all love the Sarge, and Kelly, we wanted to have you on today and make it about you. And we're so happy, honored, and appreciate you being here today.
I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys so much for having me on.
Absolutely, Kelly. Thank you so much. And feel free to join us. Well, first of all, we'd love to have you back. And if you would oblige, we would love to have you back. Feel free to join us at any time. We'd love to catch up with you on the Spartan progress, all that stuff.
Yeah, anytime. Maybe after November, after I do the Beast, I can come on and talk.
Great.
Would love it. We would love it. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Kelly. Have a great weekend.
You too.
Thank you. Take care.
Bye-bye.
All right, gentlemen. That is the Kelly Slaughter, Slaughter's daughter, the daughter of the Sarge himself, Kelly Slaughter. She had some great stories there talking about growing up in the wrestling household, and of course what she's doing. So be sure to check that out, guys, on the YouTube channel there, the Slaughter's daughter. Make sure you go and subscribe there, and also the Slaughterhouse podcast. We'll have to keep an eye out on that as well. We're going to take a quick break here. We got to check in with our sponsors. On the other end, we got the Chic tweets, of course. We got our Jobber of the Week, and of course we got the Wrestling Vault that we're going to crack open as well. So stick with us. We'll be right back. right, guys, welcome back. Falls Count Anywhere podcast here. Charlie Turner along with Chris DiCarlo and John Restino. Gentlemen, we want to thank our sponsors once again. We appreciate each and every one of them. And keep an eye out for I think we're in need of a new logo here at Falls Count Anywhere. It's kind of ran its course in the short time we've been on the air, but we're due for an update, so hopefully we'll have one in the upcoming future. But give us a follow, guys, on Falls Count Anywhere podcast on Facebook there. Of course, we'll get into all that good stuff. Where you can find us towards the end of the show here. But guys, want to say thank you again to Kelly Slaughter for joining us, the daughter of Sergeant Slaughter, Slaughter's daughter, for joining us. And, we really enjoyed that. Guys, I want to talk a little bit current wrestling here. Just a couple things of note that I just wanted to bring up, and we'll get into the rest of the show here. But it was a pretty good AEW Dynamite this past Wednesday. I don't know if you guys were able to check it out, but CM Punk made a surprise return 2 weeks ago and then showed up last week to confront Jon Moxley, who is the current interim AEW champion. Of course, CM Punk being the champion. They had a pretty good promo together in the ring there. They were in each other's face. And from what I've read as well is that CM Punk went off script a little bit, calling out Hangman Page, the cowboy shit. And he said it was more like coward shit. That was all off script, I guess. From what I've been seeing, there's been some tension backstage in AEW recently, but with a lot of guys that are just butting heads. Who knows? I mean, with their history in the business, not really sure the ins and outs of what's causing any particular controversy. But I know CM Punk's not really getting along with Hangman Page. The Colt Cabana is factored in as well with some heat with some guys backstage. Of course, the whole MJF thing went down. So I don't know if they have a happy shop necessarily in AEW, but aside from that, Moxley and CM Punk at All Out, the next pay-per-view for AEW. Looking forward to a championship unification match here, if you will.
Yeah, and a big return too, right? Kenny Omega.
Kenny Omega, that's right. Kenny Omega did make his return to team with the Young Bucks for the Trios tournament that they're doing in AEW. They're going to have a Trios title, I believe. Similar to what the NWA did back in the day.
Like a six-man.
Yeah, like a six-man. Yeah, trio. So three on three, you know? So, yeah, it's be interesting to see how that pans out and who ends up winning that. But a good start anyway to Moxley and Punk. They haven't really worked together. And Punk calling them out a couple times saying, you're the third best guy in your group. And that's not the first time that's happened in your career. And then the whole crowd lost it. Of course, making the Shield reference. With Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. But yeah, look forward to seeing what those two guys can do. And the cool part is if you're here in Western New York, if you're here in Buffalo like we are, the very first show after that All Out pay-per-view is going to be right here in Buffalo on September 7th. So it's going to be the first show after that show, after that pay-per-view. It'll be the fallout, if you will, from All Out here in Buffalo. And we look forward to seeing what kind of show they put on here in the KeyBank Arena. So looking forward to that. And also, guys, just wanted to mention and I know we've kind of touched on it with Vince McMahon retiring, I guess, right? The show has been a little different now. Both, I would say SmackDown and Raw with Triple H running things. We've seen a return of Killer Kross, Karrion Kross, along with Scarlett. We've seen Dexter Lumis wanting to get his hands on AJ Styles there as he's trying to bust through the crowd. Just some different creative things going on right now with Triple H running the show. Have you been watching it, and have you noticed a little bit of a difference compared to when Vince was running it just less than a month ago?
Well, I don't watch it a lot, but I have noticed the things, and to me that's finally,
Yeah.
And
yeah.
So hopefully they'll be in gain some fans back, and we'll see what happens. But so far, so good.
Yeah, and no disrespect to Vince McMahon as far as what he's done for the wrestling business, but I think it was time for. And unfortunate the way it happened, but you reap what you sow. But I think it was time for a younger pair of eyes to kind of look at the product and Triple H doing his own thing with, I'm sure, some creative help. He just promoted Shawn Michaels within the company there. Look, if those guys do it right, I'm 100% on board. I mean, I love what they're doing so far. There's been more of an element of surprise so far with Triple H taking over. And I feel like the shows have been a little bit more chaotic like they used to be, where you just don't know who's going to come out and interfere. Somebody might to show up from the crowd and interfere in a match. Not that you need interferences for every match, but that element of surprise has been brought back already. I feel like where things are getting stale under Vince. I don't know. I think Triple H's been doing a good job.
Yes, I agree. Hopefully, they'll improve on the WWE Network on Peacock as well with the classic footage that know I so richly want.
Absolutely, as we all do, man. There's a lot of gaps in the years that they have available on the Peacock Network. They can be definitely throwing up some classic footage, man. Absolutely on that. But guys, of course, we want to check in with another legend of the business, which is Mr. Iron Sheik. The Sheik tweets, of course, we want to check in on the Twitter board there. Now, if you're looking at this photo, now the Iron Sheik tweet, this is the John Cena of cows, Bubba. Now, if you look close at this photo, there's actually 2 cows there. If you look close at them. Yeah, you see that? There's like a whole shitload of legs underneath. Yeah, that's what he's talking about. You can't see me is the point he's getting at, right? And that's the little cow.
Wow.
Little optical illusion here on the Falls Count Anywhere podcast.
Yeah. I didn't know. Wow. Okay, the Sheik. That was good.
Yeah, the Sheik. You can't see me is the whole John Cena thing. And you definitely couldn't see that cow. So that's the John Cena of cows, as the Iron Sheik stated there.
Wow.
Oh, now here we go. Now, Luke Knox, I love you forever. God bless you. Luke Knox, if you're unfamiliar with who he is the younger brother of Dawson Knox, who is the starting tight end for our hometown Buffalo Bills. Unfortunately, his younger brother, Luke Knox, passed away at the age of 22, too young, way too young. And the Sheik throwing some love out to Bills Mafia and to Dawson Knox's little brother, Luke. Rest in peace. On behalf of all of us here at Falls Count Anywhere, we're, 2 of the 3 of us here are Bills fans. John, I won't speak for you. I know you're a Bears fan, but I guess I can speak for all of us saying that our condolences go out to the Knox family for that. And then also the Sheik here as well. We had one final tweet there. Oh, yes, he had a joke. He's telling jokes. It was National Tell a Joke Day. And why do I keep wanting to say Flair? I don't know. But the Iron Sheik said, Hulk Hogan, the best. That's his joke of the day. That's all you need. That's all you really need from the Sheik to know that he's joking around there. We know he doesn't love Hulk Hogan. There's no love lost from the Hulkster there.
Yeah, but I did see. I know we've had a couple different shows here, but I did see he sent a tweet about Hogan's birthday back on August 11th too. Something to that effect.
Yeah, something to that effect. Check out the Sheik tweets on Twitter under the Iron Sheik. He usually doesn't go more than about 7 days without calling out the Hulkster and him wanting to make him humble. And the Sheik also got into the merchandise game there, John. If you can throw that up, yes, sir. Now he's saying that everybody knows he's the greatest heel of the earth, Bubba, in wrestling history, right? Now he's now offering some Sheik merchandise. So if you check out that website there that we got on the screen, you can click on it. They got some T-shirts, some hoodies. I'm sure they're going to be adding more. On the front of that one T-shirt there, you got Sheik, and of course you got Champion on the back from his title run back in '84. But yeah, some Sheik merchandise available there. So just be sure to check that out. I'll be honest, it was a little bit pricey for some of the shit that he was selling, but if you want to rock the Sheik, man, you got to pay a little extra, right?
Well, I guess we'll have to see. Maybe they'll come up with a replica of the clubs, and I bet you some people will buy those.
Oh yeah, let's do that. That's not a bad idea. The replica of just actual clubs.
Yeah,
and we'll do like the worldwide club challenge. Anybody that can complete it, right? And also, guys, speaking of merchandise, we also got another former wrestler, the legendary Ric Flair, is also selling merchandise, but not exactly T-shirts and sweatshirts. Ric Flair has gotten into the cannabis game here, and he's promoting his new product, Ric Flair Drip, which is going to be available in Arizona, Nevada, Illinois, New Jersey, and California as of right now under Zen Leaf Dispensaries. Cookies in Sacramento. So Ric Flair smoking pot, guys.
Good for him.
Yeah. I mean, hey, if you're 73 and you're still wrestling, you got chronic pain. No pun intended. You smoke a little grass to ease the pain, I guess.
I'll tell you what, man. If you would do that instead of take hydrocodone and stuff, you'd live a longer life for sure.
Yeah, you're gonna get the munchies probably, but you're not gonna, put that stress.
Your liver won't collapse. Yeah,
Right, your liver, your stomach. Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
good for him. That's good.
Yeah, in 2022, we've got, I believe, up to 10 or 12 states that have legalized it. The CBD oil is a popular thing. Athletes use it, and it's a different aspect of medicine, if you will. It's not just getting wasted and eating.
I can't use it. It makes me sick, right? But Robin, she uses it, and I'm gonna tell you what, unbelievable. In my seeing it, how it changed getting off of pain pills because she's had a bad back for a long time. I'll tell you, it's medicinally and whatever. I had no idea the benefits of that. Anxiety, the whole deal. I'm glad for him. That's awesome.
It's from the earth, man. Right? And he kind of joins Mike Tyson in that endeavor. Mike Tyson doing a very similar thing there, and I believe he's teamed up with Mike Tyson as well.
Yeah.
To get this product out there. And Mike Tyson, if you haven't seen it, the infamous ear bite on Evander Holyfield back from their fight. If you've ever seen that, he did bite off the ear of Evander Holyfield, and he offers edible ears, little earpieces that you can buy, like a little pack of 12. Yeah, pretty fun. Seeing these guys, Mike Tyson in his 50s, Flair in his 70s. Utilizing cannabis to whether it's just to have some fun, I don't know, or just to heal and to help with like anxiety or pain, as you mentioned, John, could be used medically. So funny stuff. So be sure to check those out. The Ric Flair drip, and of course the Iron Sheik merchandise there. But guys, of course, we want to do our opening of the vault, if you will, this week. Chris, I know you got some classic clips lined up for us. Take it away, buddy.
Yes, each and every week here, right, guys? We say that we do not sell these. We do not trade them. They are from my own personal collection. And here we got 4 quick ones this week. And our first one will be in honor of our guest that we had today.
Yeah, so this looks like the Part of Slaughterhouse podcast we were talking about. As you see the logo on the bottom, I think with the G.I. Joe colors, I think that would make for an awesome T-shirt. I can't really see the logo above that. I'm assuming that.
Yeah, just a point here, there. A couple clips of her being on some different shows before, obviously ours today, just to kind of highlight her as our guest.
Absolutely.
I love that. That logo is great.
Yeah, I believe she's got that shirt on there.
Yeah.
And then this was another show here she was on.
Yeah, who are these jabronis? No, kidding, of course.
Yeah, no, look at these guys.
Hey, who do these guys think they are? You want to come up Falcon anywhere? And
how dare you?
After what?
No, I issue a challenge to them. I don't know what to do what, but
well, we probably got more views than them, I'm sure.
Yeah, right. See? Now this is good.
There she is with her training partner. She mentioned about Danbury there.
Yeah.
And they got their T-shirts on there representing the Spartan races.
Yes, sir. And I was able to check out a little bit of this interview, and I'll tell you what, as Kelly mentioned, it's mindset number one, right? And then number 2 is the physical aspect of it. So good for her for doing this only 4 months. And she's already winning medals. I mean, she mentioned that you get one as you participate, but some of the things that she's gone through, training, and then some of the races that she's done, man, sheesh.
Yeah, that training alone is brutal.
Very athletic she is, huh?
Runs the family, I guess, right? Good genes.
Yeah, she is there after a race.
What did Sarge? What did he do before? Was he a football? What was it with him? Does anyone? You guys know?
Well, there's the Sarge. I'm not sure about that.
I wasn't sure about that either. I think maybe, as far as I know, it's just a wrestling career that obviously we're going to take a look at some early clips here in a minute. But here she is mentioning that she was here's one show when she interviewed him.
Oh, cool.
No, I don't think it could be understated, but the best jaw in wrestling history belongs to Sergeant Slaughter. I mean, listen, you talk about Bill Cowher, right? Bill Cowher's he's got nothing compared to the Sarge, man.
Right. Yeah. Now, the next clip, Chris, I'm hoping that I'm bringing up. I'm kind of doing this a little blind on my end, just so you know. I'm hoping it's Sergeant Slaughter. If it's not, I know you can audible.
Hopefully it's something that's all family-friendly content here, John.
Oh, no, we're good. Yes, we are.
All
We're good. Nothing crazy's coming up. Here we go.
Yes, John, you did it right. It is our, since we had Kelly Slaughter on today, I figured we throw a couple of Sergeant Slaughter clips in, right?
Yeah.
And here we go.
It's not an accidental clip of like John Holmes or anything. That's good.
Oh, God.
Then, of course, you see here one of the enemies of the Sarge over the years was the so-called Russian Boris Zhukov.
Oh, yeah.
One half of the Bolsheviks at one point.
Yes, and here we go. Here's that classic clip we were talking about. There he is,
Wow.
the Sarge with hair.
Holy cow! I didn't even recognize him.
Yeah, look at that.
Look at that.
Well, I think he's tag teamed in there, John, with Cowboy Bobby Duncombe. You see.
Oh, wow. He makes his jaw look smaller with the hair.
Yeah.
And here he is. I know there's no sound to this clip.
Oh.
It was 8mm from Kansas City, Missouri. You see the Sarge here against early Ted DiBiase.
That's cool. Wow.
Chris, how does one get a 8mm clip? Holy cow!
There's a lot of them out there.
I'm talking about, brother.
Yeah, there's a lot of them out there. Here's a tag team match from Portland territory, as we see the AWA Tag Team Champions, the Road Warriors, defending against Portland's own Billy Jack Haynes and the Sarge.
Wow. So you got the full Nelson and the Cobra Clutch teaming up together here. Awesome.
And I don't think it was still enough to beat the Road Warriors at the time, though.
Wow.
Well, perhaps a lot of people would argue they're the greatest tag team of all time. So no shame in that.
Yes, indeed. But some classic clips there. We had to throw in, of course, of her dad, since she was honored to be on today.
All right.
And
Like
also,
very
we
interesting.
have two more classic quick ones.
Yep. Let's see which one comes up.
I'm sure, John, you got a kick out of this. Charlie, this guy was the Wolfman in the late 70s.
Yeah, Teen Wolf match in here. What the hell?
Yeah, the Wolfman. And here we see him against our Buffalo's own sensational Super Destroyer.
Oh, awesome.
But yeah, this
The
Wolfman I thought was quite interesting. And what a character, huh?
Wow, look
Wow.
at that. Yeah. That headdress he's wearing and all that stuff. Holy cow.
The whole gimmick.
I never heard of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, me neither.
The Wolfman. Well, here I have some other clips of the Wolfman. I was telling Robin off camera that he had a WWF career against Ivan Putski and some other people, but this one here is non-WWF territory. So, but still, the Wolfman. Look at this crazy guy. What a character!
Weird, yeah. Holy cow. Now
Look at the crowd. The guy from the crowd.
Yeah, well, no barriers back then. Remember?
Yeah. Look at him. And they don't even care. Like, he's just going to go back to his seat.
This Hammond.
Maybe.
Maybe go back to work tomorrow.
I know. He's ready to fight the Wolfman.
Yeah. Yeah.
We wanted to help
Yeah,
the Super Destroyer here.
He's
Hey, honey,
still coming.
Hold my beer. I'm gonna go attack the Wolfman. What's wrong with that guy?
Look at the boots,
Oh.
putting the boots to a Super Destroyer here.
Yeah.
Look at the size of that camera.
Just
outside the
classic.
room. God.
And these classic promotions and territories. I believe this was one out of Canada. They had a few out of Canada.
And that
But,
guy's
that's
still
me,
standing there.
Go ahead, John.
Excuse me? What, John?
I said, that guy's still standing there. Look, he's fit to be tied. They can't
Yeah,
get
they got
him
hold of
back.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
This
You can watch other podcasts, but this is probably the only podcast, Falls Count Anywhere, where you're going to see the damn Wolfman wrestling on here. That's awesome.
Well, we
Yeah.
got one more crazy one to go here. And here he is, Crazy Luke Graham, as he was known. I don't know if he was really related to superstar Billy Graham, the Graham family, but this was Crazy Luke Graham here. And look at his famous manager.
Yeah, I like this. He was great. Look at that. The Grand Wizard.
The Grand Wizard of Wrestling, Ernie Roth.
Wow.
Too bad he died. He died young back in '83. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's too bad.
Really is.
There he is, Crazy Luke Graham, now in Mid-South territory against another guest we had on, Mr. Mike George.
Oh, yeah. Look at that.
All right. Yeah. Very good.
I still hear from Mr. George. Will call me once in a while. What a great guy.
Nice.
Yeah. But look at the crazy one here.
Look at the wrestling style on this guy. Oh.
Can you imagine Crazy Luke Graham against George the Animal?
Yeah, he's got the same mannerisms. Sure.
Yeah, wow. Look at this.
Look at this.
We had Dusty Wolf on the show. Here he is.
Yeah, another former guest of the show. Dusty's about to get fed to the slaughter too. It looks like you're not Sergeant Slaughter, of course, but Luke Graham here.
Yeah.
This was Dusty here.
Yep, this was 83-84, the Kansas City, Missouri territory of Central States Wrestling.
Oh, there you go, a little hip toss or whatever.
Rake of the eyes.
Yeah, there's a wrestling hole.
And then here he is against the Sheik Agnon LKC in the AWA. Both of them are going after Crusher Jerry Blackwell there, John.
Yeah, look at this. Oh my God, he's cleaning house. Oh,
this was on the old Pro Wrestling USA TV show.
That sledgehammer came from way downtown. Man, he brought it all the way up in the air. That was good.
Wow, just going to town there. But a couple of classic clips. I thought we'd throw in the Crazy Luke Graham and the Wolfman this week.
Oh, that was great.
I'll tell you what, man. Those are two guys I'm not very familiar with. Like I said, man, you're only going to see that right here at Fall Town Anywhere, as Chris has a unlimited vault of classics, including guys like the Wolfman and what was it? What was the other guy's name? Tommy Graham? Crazy Luke Graham. Sorry, jeez, oh man.
Crazy Luke Graham.
I should remember. I'm getting old.
The vault grows each and every week, as you guys well know.
Yes.
Absolutely. Cool stuff, man. Cool stuff. We, and as we saw Dusty Wolf getting thrown to the wolves there, if you will, with Crazy Luke Graham. That brings us to our next segment of the show. Of course, we want to talk about our enhancement talent of the week, or our jobber, if you will. This week it is Mr. Spike Jones. Did I say Mike Jones? Nope. I said Spike Jones. Look at this guy. So he wrestled from 1989 up until 1992, appearing mostly on Wrestling Challenge and Superstars of Wrestling. He's originally from Junction City, Kansas, weighing in at 250 pounds. He also went under the name of Spike O'Rourke. He only wrestled about 16. Well, he wrestled 16 matches in the WWF, unfortunately going 0-16. Mr. Spike Jones, there he is. No title history to report or any other previous promotions that he worked in. So he could have been one of those guys that was just the local talent that they called in when they were in town, or WWF was near where Spike Jones might have lived. Said, hey, man, can you work some matches for us? And these guys, they stepped up and got their asses kicked by the Stars. But, hey, they got a meal out of it and a paycheck, right?
Yeah, we got to give him love each and every week here, right? The
absolutely. Spike Jones.
Talent of the week. But
and they wear that thing, they give him that nice, what is that? It's like the singlet or whatever the hell he's wearing there. You can never wear that and look, not many, right, can wear that and
pull it off.
Yeah, that's so tough. I almost feel sorry. I mean, look at whatever. Here, let me bring him up again. There he is. Look at the son of a gun. I mean,
he's got a little bit of a Fred Flintstone thing going on there. Yeah, a little Barney Rubble.
Okay, yeah.
Like King Kong Bundy wearing the black one, trying to wear the black one anyway.
Yeah.
But as we come to a close of this week's show, John, we want to bring up, of course, we're thankful for each and every view and like out there, especially on our home first is Facebook here. like us on Facebook, share our show, follow us. And then we're also available on Twitter at Count Anywhere on Twitter, and retweet our show or just follow us on Twitter. Give us a like there. We're also on Spotify. And yes, we have our new YouTube channel up, which has each and every show of ours, especially this one, under the Friends with a Z there Media Network. And you can check out all our shows there. And I know we want to thank our people and subscribers that do already and into the future.
Yes, sir. And a shout out to Nikita Koloff, who gave us a retweet there on the old Twitter sheet. We posted his interview there on Twitter, and he gave us some love and a retweet there. So thank you to, if you haven't seen that interview, check it out. Nikita Koloff.
Yes.
I spoke to him recently as well. So, and John, I know you got some public service announcement we want to throw on the screen here. We want to give the public some helpful information. If you're battling it mentally or whatever the case, if you're going through things, John's got some important information for you here.
Yes, please. And if you out there that are watching, if there's anything that, any public service announcement, anything you need, we would be glad to help. The first one is one that just come to our attention. This young man, only 20 years old, passed away. And he passed away tragically in a accident. The family needs some help. So if you can, his name is Jordan Chu. If you can, please donate to they need help paying for funeral costs. It's like $10,000, $20,000. They need some help. And they're at a horrible time. Obviously, they lost the young man like this, brother, a son, the whole deal. You know how it goes. It's really sad. If you can help them out. But even if you can't, because I know money's tight, just share it. Go to my page, all of our pages. I'm going to put it out there on All's Count Anywhere page, and just share it. Even if you can't donate, just share it, please. Because if you share it, someone will see it and they will be able to donate and help this family in a horrible time, as we can only imagine. Poor 20-year-old kid passing away, just doing what a lot of 20-year-olds do, playing on, riding around ATVs and stuff. So, so please help them. It's tough, man. It's just tough. But the next one is another situation. It's 988 Suicide Crisis Lifeline. Please, if you ever, or somebody who's going through something that just, you hear them saying stuff, or you feel that way, call that number, please. It's real quick, 988. People are there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, every day, 365 days a year. And don't ever think you're alone, because they're there for you, waiting, and you can get some help. Thank you, guys.
Absolutely, guys. Thank you,
YWCA there, John, and the mental health.
If you have
moment.
it. Yeah, if you have it.
There's a mental health number.
Yeah, there we go.
844-794-3812.
Perfect.
And the YWCA all over the
yes.
There we go.
The YWCA, you saw that number, that's a local number for us, but I don't care every state, every county has one. That's for anybody, it's not just for women, it's for anyone that's been hurt in a way, especially back when you were a kid or now, sexually assaulted, things of that nature. Give them a call. Great counselors standing by, advocates, and they'll help you.
Perfect. John, thank you so much for that helpful information. And guys, as we wrap up here, I just want to let anybody that's viewing know that we're planning on having some great guests coming up, as we always do. In the future, we might even have one half of the Killer Bees. I won't tell you who. We might be getting one of them down the road here very, very soon. And a lot of big things coming up, guys, wrestling-wise. We got the Clash at the Castle coming up. They've lined up some nice matches so far. We got Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre battling for the title. And as of last night, Sheamus qualified to face Gunther for the Intercontinental title, which is another point I wanted to make real quick. Triple H trying to bring some prestige back to the Intercontinental and U.S. titles, which have just kind of been thrown to the wayside a little bit. I believe Lashley has done a great job, I should say, of bumping up the U.S. title. Now we want to see the same with Gunther. He's done a great job at the IC title, but Triple H doing a good job so far of making those titles relevant, again, in the short time that he's had the controls. I feel like there's always a lot of gimmick matches around those titles. Just to see some one-on-one matches and real matches take place for those titles is refreshing. So But yeah, guys, as I mentioned, we're going to have some great guests coming up in the near future as we roll along here on Falls Anywhere. Guys, thank you again for an awesome show. Chris with the clips. Again, thank you to Kelly Slaughter for joining us on today's show, and John and Robin for preparing everything for us as we roll along on this podcast. I want to say thank you to each and every one of you that takes a view, even if it's just for a few minutes. We're very thankful for you. And guys, have a great weekend. We're coming up on Labor Day already in a couple weeks. I can't believe it. It's like the summer's winding down, and we're heading into football season as we watch our hometown Buffalo Bills take on the Broncos today. But again, thank you guys, and have a great weekend, guys.
Yes, take care.
Take care.
Thank you for watching. If you liked our video, then click the like button below and the subscribe button to be notified when a new video is uploaded. Here are some of our other videos. Remember to leave a comment below.